If you feel like life is getting more expensive, it's not your imagination. Inflation has been heating up. Groceries, gas, and even your weekend ride share seem to cost more every time you pull out your debit card. In July 2025, the U.S. Producer Price Index jumped 9%, the biggest increase in 3 years. Services like dental care and airline tickets are getting more expensive, and despite record global employment, 57% of workers still live paycheck to paycheck, with 23% holding multiple jobs just to cover basic expenses. This isn't some news headline. It's your life. Have you ever noticed how quietly money leaks out of your life? The just this once $5 latte every morning that adds up to over $100 a month? The streaming subscriptions you forgot to cancel? The smartphone upgrade you had to have because your friends had it? You pay for convenience, food delivery, ride shares, even when cooking or taking public transit would save you cash. Then the power bill jumps and fuel costs you 10% more, and suddenly you're lying awake at night wondering why you're broke again. The truth is, inflation is not waiting for your budget to catch up. Producer prices surged 0.9% in July 2025. Food prices alone rose 1.4%. In real life, that means the burger meal that used to cost you $10 has crept up to $11, and your grocery bill has grown by tens of dollars without you noticing. As economist Carl Weinberg puts it, this surge in costs is a kick in the teeth for anyone who thought tariffs wouldn't raise prices. When you do nothing, inflation eats your paycheck, debt grows, and the dream of freedom fades. Stop pretending things will magically get better. The current economy rewards action and punishes complacency. Waiting means losing. Every month you sit on the sidelines, you're effectively giving yourself a pay cut. Everyone likes to think they're bad with money, but financial literacy isn't a mystery, it's a skill set. According to personal finance educators, the 5 principles of financial literacy are earning, saving and investing, borrowing and managing debt, spending and planning, and protecting your assets. Master these, and you have a roadmap for your entire financial life. Your income is the foundation. Living within your means, managing your workplace benefits, and taking advantage of employer retirement matches set the stage. If your salary barely pays the bills, either cut expenses or increase income. There is no third option. Remember the coworker who complains about low pay yet buys designer sneakers every month? He has an earning problem disguised as a spending problem. Creating a budget helps you put aside money for savings and investments. That might mean skipping impulse buys so you can stash away enough to invest in a mutual fund or save for a down payment. Think about the friend who always can't afford to invest, yet somehow affords a new gadget every quarter. It's not about income, it's about priorities. Use debt strategically. Borrowing lets you buy a home or fund your education, but you must weigh whether you can afford the payments. Compare interest rates, keep debt manageable, pay on time, and pay more than the minimum. We all know somebody who took out a payday loan for a holiday and is still paying the 300% interest. Don't be that person. Budgeting isn't about deprivation, it's about intention. Consider using the 50-30-20 budget. 50% of your income for needs, 30% for wants, and 20% for savings and investments. Or flip it with the 80-20 rule. Pay yourself first by saving 20% and live on the remaining 80%. Write a grocery list before you shop so you don't buy items you don't need. Plan your purchases instead of using your debit card like a magic wand. Build an emergency fund to cover 3 to 6 months of expenses. Only dip into it for real emergencies. Take out insurance for health, property, and life. Think of the family that lost their car in a flood and had to borrow money from relatives because they had no insurance. Protecting your assets is the shield that keeps your progress intact. If you don't know these principles, you're playing a game you can't win. Stop acting confused and start learning. Here's the brutal truth. Most people are not just poor, they're trapped. ADP's People at Work 2025 report found that 57% of workers globally live paycheck to paycheck. 23% are juggling multiple jobs because one paycheck isn't enough. In some countries like Egypt and the Philippines, over 78% of workers are stuck in this cycle. Living like this isn't a badge of honor, it's a warning sign. If you're always one emergency away from disaster, you have no freedom. You're working for bills, not for yourself. Do you really want to spend your life just covering expenses? Think about real people. The single mother down the hall who works 2 jobs and still can't afford a doctor's visit. The software engineer earning 6 figures who's drowning in credit card debt because he never learned to budget. Or the retiree who skipped saving for decades and now chooses between medicine and groceries. These aren't characters in a movie, they're your friends, neighbors, and maybe even you. No budget, Without a plan, money disappears. Most people don't know where their income goes until the bank alerts them they're overdrawn. Consumer culture? Social media pressures us to constantly upgrade, but trying to look rich keeps you broke. No cushion? Without an emergency fund, any minor issue, a car repair, a medical bill, turns into debt. Fear of investing? Many think investing is gambling. In reality, not investing is riskier. Inflation devalues your cash every day. You're not helpless, you're distracted. The same energy you use to scroll social media could be used to track your spending or learn a new skill. Choose wisely. Money doesn't care about your feelings. It flows to those who respect it. So, how do you move from surviving to thriving? In a volatile economy, relying on a single paycheck is dangerous. Consider side hustles, freelancing, or leveraging the gig economy. Whether you're driving rideshare platforms, freelancing online, or monetizing a hobby, additional income streams buffer you against layoffs and inflation. Your neighbor drives for rideshare platforms on weekends, making enough to cover her groceries. A teacher friend sells homemade cakes online. A college student tutors math after class. These aren't get-rich-quick schemes. They're practical ways ordinary people use spare hours to earn extra money. Financial literacy empowers you. Read books, take courses, listen to podcasts. Education isn't just for the young, it's a lifelong process. Learning to invest, budget, and negotiate your salary is worth more than binge-watching another show. Instead of scrolling social media for an hour each night, imagine if you spent that time reading about how compound interest works or watching a tutorial on negotiation. That knowledge compounds just like money does. Start small if you must. Automate contributions to a retirement account or index fund. The earlier you start, the more compound interest works for you. Investing isn't about timing the market, it's about time in the market. A colleague invests $200 every month in a mutual fund. It doesn't sound like much, but over 10 years, thanks to compound growth, that monthly habit turns into a sizable portfolio. Meanwhile, his friend waits for the right time and ends up starting years later with less to show for it. Don't be reckless. Before investing, build that emergency fund. Get insurance. Diversify your income so one shock doesn't ruin you. In 2025, AI and automation are transforming jobs. Upskill or reskill to remain relevant. Learn to use AI tools rather than fear them. Future opportunities belong to the adaptable. A mid-career accountant learns data analysis to become indispensable at work. A customer service rep learns to code and shifts into a higher-paying tech role. Their willingness to learn opens doors that complaining never would. Success is not an accident, it's engineered. You can no longer afford to be passive about your money. Inflation, job insecurity, and rising costs are facts. Use them as fuel, not excuses. Here's the hard part. No one is coming to rescue you. Waiting for the government, your employer, or luck is a losing strategy. The economy rewards those who take initiative, build skills, start a side hustle, invest early, and protect what you earn. In a world where 57% of workers live paycheck to paycheck, the real rebellion is financial independence. You can keep complaining about rising prices and unfair systems, or use that anger to feel change. 10 years from now, you'll either regret not starting sooner, or you'll live a life you designed. Choose.